Good morning, y'all. Tracey, Trials of a Long-Haired Girl here. I am coming at you with an announcement and a Halloween tag. I was tagged by the creator of this tag, Robbie over at Freaky Fit Wolf, and then also Kim over at A Girl on Her Phone. We're going to do the questions first, and then I'll do my announcement. What was your favorite Halloween costume you've worn? Honestly, I don't remember. I really do not. The one that sticks out most in my head, when I was in high school, I had a pair of adult footy pajamas, and I put those on without the feet, because I could take the feet on or off. I put those on without the feet and wore my sneakers and trick-or-treated at friend's house on Halloween when I was in high school. That's the one that sticks out most in my head. I think most of my costumes were the plastic, or the costume with the plastic mask, and kind of creeps me out now, but whatever. What is your favorite Halloween candy? It's a Reese's. I love Reese's. But you know what? At one point, it was pretty much any candy. Like, I love the little mini Snickers, and I will often, and have, in years past when my boss would have candy put up front for Halloween, I would often spend a ton of points on little mini Snicker bars because they were there. They would start calling my name, or Reese's. But y'all, your girl cannot do that and lose weight. No. Do you like horror films, and what is your favorite? I was actually having a conversation with my son this morning because I don't watch much, like now especially, in the way of a horror film. But I think what may have been classified as horror, at least at the time, like I've watched The Nightmare on Elm Street. I've watched Christine, which I don't think I would qualify that as Christine. As horror. I watched the Poltergeist, a lot of the Poltergeist series. I think I've watched some of the Halloween, and but do I really have a favorite out of those? Not really. Could I sit down and watch them again? Yes, I think I probably could. They're ridiculous now, with all of the graphic technology changes and whatnot, but I might sit down and watch it if I found it on TV. But would I make an intent? Would I intentionally go buy a DVD or something to watch it? Probably not. What is your favorite Halloween movie? Okay. I know we've talked about this before, and I just talked about it a second ago. I love Christine. I watched Christine like every year for years. I watched Christine. It is and still ranks as one of my all-time favorites. In fact, I need to watch it. But I also love Hocus Pocus, and Robbie was talking about the Halloween Town movies, and funny thing, I had the day off on Monday, and I was just watching the first two with my son. I love those movies. Anyway, it's hard for me to choose just one. I like, and Nightmare Before Christmas. I enjoy watching that too. So it's hard for me to pick just one. Are you superstitious? I think I used to be more than I am now. Um, like, I am not going to get upset now by a by a black cat crossing my path. Am I going to be intentionally walking under a ladder? Probably not, but if that were the easiest way for me to get from point A to point B, I just might. Um, The creepiest thing that happened to you. You know, I've been trying to think. Okay, I think I can probably share this. I believe that the person that probably did this, number one, doesn't watch my YouTube channel. And I think technically, if what I heard through the grapevine is correct, he's actually passed. So I think I've mentioned before, my mother and I used to sit on the couch in the love seat. We would have the TV on. It would likely be on low, but it was on. So we would have noise, and we would both be laying back reading a book. We weren't really talking. We weren't really, and all of a sudden we hear the doorknob twist. And neither one of us moved. Nobody knocked on the door. They just twisted the doorknob a couple times. Mom and I kept reading. We finished reading. Mom's like, it's time, we need to go on to bed. I was like, okay. Get up. I'm like, did you hear? She's like, yep. I'm like, wonder who that was. Don't know. And we went to bed. Which, in telling that story, also reminds me of something else. A girl that I grew up with, I love her dearly. We don't hang out a lot and haven't in a number of years. And we weren't really hanging out at the time, but some members of her family were very fond of my family, so they would come down and hang out with us. But her husband was running from the law at one point, and her husband at the time. And my mother's house was set up in such a way that, like, this was the living room, but then my room came out, and then it went back in. Because he was running from the police and he was trying to find some place to hide, he picked the little area right there by my bedroom. And as it so happens, because I was in the back of the house and kept thinking nobody could see me, and I had a fan in the window because, y'all, we were poor. There wasn't air conditioning in the entire house. So I had the box fan in the window trying to help circulate some air, and I was hot. So when I got out of the shower, because the bathroom was right next to my room, when I got out of the shower, I just walked back in my room naked. I wouldn't do that now, but I did at the time. And I found out later that he was actually watching me. And yeah, that's a little creepy. Okay, moving on, because that one really kind of... do you decorate for Halloween? I go through phases. There are times that I really love to decorate, like when I had my house in Denison before my husband and I even were a twinkle in anybody's eye. I'd go all out. We would put up clings in the window, and didn't necessarily do lights and things like that, but I would decorate some for Halloween. But I always made sure that I had candy for the kids. because my mother always had a lot of kids, and I was not that far from her, so I was thinking that I would probably also have a lot of kids. And that kind of ebbed and flowed. Some years I would have a lot of kids, and some years I wouldn't. So, and now we, with the Facebook groups and stuff like that, we can actually put on Facebook, hey, so and so in this neighborhood, or I have, and I'm at this address because it's a private Facebook group, we still have candy, or we still have, send your kids our way. And that seems to help. We buy the Takis, and Takis is what we give out rather than candy, because there is a larger Hispanic population in our neighborhood, I think, or around our neighborhood. They come to our neighborhood to trick or treat, and they love the Takis. Like, they'll yell at other kids going down the street that we have the Takis and they need to go to our house. Okay, favorite monster or villain? I was thinking about this, and I honestly don't know. I think probably, going back to my childhood, I think it'd probably have to be the Hulk. Is he classified as a monster? If not, then probably, I don't know, the Joker or Godzilla. I like the Joker. I think I've always liked the Joker. And not just Heath Ledger as the Joker. I liked the Joker back when, you know, the Batman TV show was on. And I know there are probably some of you that are looking at me going, there was a TV show? Yes. Yes, there was, in the 70s. And fun fact, I saw Adam West at a Comic-Con years ago. My husband was willing to pay the money for me to go and meet him in person and have my picture taken, but I just couldn't do it. I should have. I totally should have, but I didn't. Are you doing anything for Halloween this year? If so, what? Well, I kind of already talked about that. Hold on a second. If we actually celebrate Halloween in my neighborhood, I am wearing this dress. For those of you who may know Kate over at Weight Watchers with Kate, she set up a challenge earlier this year, specifically around that dress. And then I found this, and I thought that would be so fun to wear on Halloween. So if we're actually giving out candy and whatnot in our neighborhood, I'm wearing that and this. But if we don't, then, you know, it may just be another day of the year, because I've not really decorated for Halloween this year. I wanted to talk my husband into something, but that didn't happen. So, and what is your favorite Halloween song? You know, Robbie, I struggled with this one. I really did. The first song that pops into my head when we're talking about Halloween songs is Monster Mash. And then I got to thinking, and so I Googled, and I'm like, what are some other Halloween songs? Because I hate to just say Monster Mash, but honestly, that's the one that pops out in my head. Or pops up in my head. But I think that I would have to say, like, it's a, you know, I grew up listening to it as far as Halloween songs go. But I think I'm going to have to say Rockwell's Somebody's Watching Me. Probably not a very popular choice, but, you know, it is from my era, the 80s. And so, yeah, I kind of feel like that would be the one that I chose if I had to pick one song that was not the Monster Mash. Okay, now for the announcement. And I gotta be quick because I need to log into work soon. So I got an email from the YouTube about a week or so ago, week and a half ago, and acknowledged something that I thought about, and I thought, oh, it's coming up. But I never looked back to see exactly when it was until I got this email. On September 29th, of 2019, I put up my very first video on YouTube. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Robbie, who talked me into this in the first place. And some days I really don't like you because you talked me into this in the first place. No, really. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you, Robbie, for talking me into this. I don't think I would have done it. As I told you, I had been thinking about it, but I don't think I would have pulled the trigger if you had not given me that little shove off the cliff. But I am so thankful to have found who I did and what I did in this community. Y'all, I've said this before, and I'm certain that I will say it again. I have been on this journey for far longer than I care to actually acknowledge. I've been doing this since before my husband and I ever even thought about dating. And it really kind of ebbs and flows. When I was doing really well, and right before I met my husband and we started dating, I was down to the low 160s, I think. Almost hit the 150s, which is where my goal weight was the 150s. And I think, like so many others, I just kept thinking, oh, I can do this on my own. And I had support. I had friends who were supportive. We were all doing it together. And, you know, we would go to the gym together. We had meals together. We were hanging out. But it, yeah. After my husband, when my husband and I started dating, and then, you know, he proposed and I got married, the sweet lady making my wedding dress, although it really kind of hurt my feelings, but not my point. She actually said to me, she said, if I have to take your dress out anymore before your wedding, we're going to have to go buy more material. But the fact of the matter was, I was under so much stress at that point. I think it was a fruitless effort, me trying to lose weight, because my mind wasn't focused on that. I was focused on planning my wedding. But I have a beautiful wedding dress, you know, to this day, that was handmade just for me. And that was a blessing. But I'm so thankful to the YouTube community and the Weight Watcher community, who has opened its arms and enveloped me. And while I don't have thousands and thousands of subscribers, I am thankful for those of you who think enough of me to watch my videos even sporadically, and allow me to share a little bit of me with you. That means a lot to me. And there are so many friends that I didn't know I needed, that I'm not sure I could go my entire day without talking to or hearing something from them. Kim over at A Girl and Her Phone, I message her pretty much every day, and I missed one day a couple weeks ago, and I finally messaged her late in the day, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling completely all out of sorts because I didn't say good morning to you. And Dish with D and Joan over at Joan's Pointed Plate. I mean, all of these people. Sandy over at Let's Get Fit with Sandy, and Mary Fran. Ironically enough, Mary Fran found me over at No Excuses. She found me on my blog first, and she'd commented a few times on there. So yeah, that was interesting. But y'all, it is a blessing to be a part of this community, and especially since, the shelter-in-place orders came down and all of that, and especially in the last month and a half, y'all have truly helped me to focus and remember that this is about me. This journey is about me. It's about my health, and I am deserving to take care of myself in order for me to be around for others. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. Okay, I'm gonna go now before I cry because I'm tearing up and I need to eat breakfast and log into work. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed my little bit of crazy this morning. And sorry, my phone's doing weird things. And I will see you hopefully, I don't know, I may not have time to make it. If I have time, I will see you tomorrow. If not, it will be Saturday for my weigh-in and check-in. And by the way, in case you can't really read that I am a third of the way through this challenge, and that's exciting. Every day has not been perfect. No, it has not. Some days I don't get to check off all of those boxes, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm pushing through, and I'm focusing on getting to the end of the 75 days, and I haven't completely failed myself on this. And I'm allowing myself the grace to, if I don't get to check everything off, I'm okay with that. So, those things make me laugh. Anyway, y'all have a great day.